What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
So, it is a what do you people want us to talk about type of week this week. I already looked ahead at the questions. Some good ones in there. Looking forward to that. Slow news week, obviously. It's why we're doing what do you people want. We're first going to, though, talk about I'm going to talk about Shovel Knight briefly, and then we will talk about the conversation that many of you are probably wanting us to have. So I finally I played Shovel Knight for the first time a few weeks ago. It is a very good 2D side-scrolling action game, Micah. This is one that I know your feelings on retro graphics, but this is one that you would actually probably enjoy if you ever get around to playing it.
Is it funny?
It has some like tongue-in-cheek video game humor. But it's not comedic for comedy's sake.
Okay.
And plus the version on the Switch is pretty good because if you buy the I think it's called like the Treasure Trove or something like that, you actually get all three Shovel Knight games that are currently available, and then you also get the fourth one when it comes out as well. Part of that bundle, which is why I think it was on sale for $20 a couple weeks ago, so I jumped on it, and it's really good. The homages are really overt that they have in the game, and it's a solid game. It's fun to play. It is what I want my retro 2D platforming games to be, basically. Little more Mega Man than it is like a Castlevania.
Okay.
Which is fine by me, as you would expect.
Yeah.
So Shovel Knight's good. If you for some reason like me have been living under a rock for the last 3 years, I would recommend checking it out. But what you guys probably really came to see, at least for the first time this week, is how our impressions, our thoughts on the official release of Street Fighter V, aka Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, which we both have and we both have played.
Yes.
What do you think?
I like it. I never had a problem with the way Street Fighter plays, and that's pretty much like the bottom line when it comes to a game is how it plays. I mean, it always looked like I expected it to look, and it always played well. Now you can do stuff without needing to be online 100% of the time, which is groovy. You know, it's the package that should have came out 2 years ago.
I just there's so much overcompensation with this edition. They're like, oh, like you're bitching at us because you didn't get an arcade mode in Street Fighter V? Well, bam, here's 6 arcade mode. like you're upset because there's not enough shit to do in the game. Bam, here's team battle mode. Check that shit out as well. It's like I appreciate the giving of the modes and the overcorrection, because like I said, Street Fighter V really fucked up when they first came out. Maybe not for hardcores, like hardcore fans who spend most of their time playing online were probably fine with it. But they really disservice not only the casuals, but also like the people like you and I, which are like the in between those two worlds.
Yeah. You and that's the thing with fighting games, man. Like you need to come out guns blazing because only your diehards are gonna keep playing this game. You can't just like try to, and you know, I like I don't necessarily like it, but the model that they're doing now of trying to get you to come back by releasing, you know, characters every month or every 2 months or whatever is a clever way to keep your game alive. But like everything with fighting games, like you need to front load those sales, man. And that was the big criticism, right? Like everybody knows this. Like Capcom, like they're the one of the godfathers of fighting games, and they just dropped the ball for some strange reason. So look, if you are into modes and all that stuff, like it's all there finally. They added gameplay tweaks, and V Trigger 2s. Like I don't know why anyone would want to use like Ken's V Trigger 1 anymore.
Right. Well, I mean, it was completely, it was pretty useless to begin with, and then
right, and
now they trigger too. I'm like, oh, like this. I get a vortex uppercut that I can basically use until I hit with it. I'm like, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, and then you can mash it once you do hit.
Right.
So you can just
I mean, I just like having options. I think and having options with your V trigger in this game, I think is better than in Street Fighter 4 where you just could pick a super. I think V triggers lend themselves more to your strategy during the match, which I like. I also like Sakura. I need to remember to actually pony up the money so that I can continue playing as Sakura, because it has been really fun playing online with her, because they made her, like, they basically just took everything she could do in Street Fighter 4 and then they just gave her more shit. But it's fantastic. She's really fun to play. I love her second V trigger, which adds hits and enhancements to her Shoryu and her Hurricane Kick.
Yeah,
which are very useful. She just plays well. Like I like the I like her V. What are they? Not the V trigger, but the other one, the one you could do with the two mid buttons.
The V skill.
Yeah, the V skill. Because with her, it's like this leaping thing that puts you in. Normally, it would put you in harm's way if you were using it as an offensive move. But if you use it as a defensive move, like say to leap projectiles and then to smash people in the face, it's pretty good, pretty damn good. So like, I've really enjoyed using her this week. Like I said, I'm happy that my favorite character is back in the game. I'm happy I'm getting one of my other favorite characters in a few months as well. So that'll be exciting.
Sagat?
Uh-huh.
Excellent. Okay, I was about to say, you're a big Blanca guy. What?
Chart characters are the devil's work. But it's fun. Like I said, I've really enjoyed myself so far. My arm really hurts because I've been dealing with some tennis elbow in my right elbow for a little bit here. And turns out playing fighting games on the fight pad really exacerbates that. I had no clue that was a thing that happened. But the first night I played for a few hours, and my whole hand and arm were sore. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh my god! It's like, does that aggravate my fucking elbow? So
have you tried fighting Shin Akuma?
Not yet.
I haven't tried. I've seen a video of him because I'm not trying to blow fight money. I don't like spending money, even if it's fake money.
Fake money.
And I saw a video and he looks simple enough. I fought Shin Akuma in arcade mode. Like, I don't know what the requirements are, but I met them and I was able to fight Shin Akuma in arcade mode. And he just turns into like a guy studying to be an SNK boss. Like, he's just overpowered for no reason,
basically.
Yeah, he's still dumb, like, because the computer is dumb, right? Like, you can outsmart it, but it's just way overpowered. And that's their compensation for it. Like, it doesn't get smarter; it just gets stronger, which is fucked up. But yeah, look, it's a fun game, man, and it is. I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. I went ahead and bought that season pass because I fuck around with Blanca also because I'm one of the charge character people.
Savage. Listen, I'm happy they addressed pretty much. I can't think of a concern that they didn't address aside from the online performance is still hit or miss. Still takes me a while to find a match, which
yeah. I mean, it's to be expected this week because it's free Sakura week. Did you play Sakura Story by any chance?
Not yet.
Yeah, you might want to play it.
Did I?
Yeah, just to get a laugh.
Okay, I mean she is a bit of a comic relief character as it is. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's grown up though.
yeah,
She's grown up. Yeah, you might want to play it just to get a little bit of a laugh.
I mean I
And
still have to do that campaign cinematic story mode that they put in.
it's really dumb, and only do it if you want more fight money. That's it.
I do like fight money
Then knock yourself out.
because I'm certainly not going to pay fucking the amount of money that they want for costume packs and colors. Fuck out of here.
You don't pay $4 for a costume.
No, I'm not you. Like what do you think this is?
You didn't buy Sakura's stage?
No,
Yo, it's a beautiful stage.
is it?
You
I'll
should
buy it with fight money. How about that? How about that? Shit, when I get the season pass, they ought to give me the shit for free.
They don't.
Well,
They don't
fuck
give you the
that.
stage. They don't give you the stage.
I've noticed that because of course the first arcade mode that I went through was of course Street Fighter 2 because what the fuck else are you gonna pick?
Yeah.
I like how they put all the old stages in that too, and I'm just like, I know that they're not just giving me shit for free.
Yeah, no, of course not.
I did buy one of them with fight money though. See if you can guess which one. It's my favorite stage in Street Fighter. It might surprise you.
Please don't say it's like Vegas stage.
No, it's not Vegas stage.
Then it has to be Bison stage.
Nope.
Is it Balrog stage?
It's Balrog stage.
Yeah, man, I like Balrog stage, man. I love it. That's the one I set as my preferred.
That's my default too.
Yeah, man, with Jimmy Hart in the background.
Yeah,
Fucking American hat, American flag top hat.
I fucking love that stage, man.
Man.
It takes me back. Cammy stage also looks really good in HD.
Who stage?
Cammy's.
Yeah, it does.
Looks really solid. Is Ken's? I haven't seen Ken's USA stage for Street Fighter 2. Is that also a faithful reproduction?
No, he doesn't have a stage per se.
Oh, lame.
Yeah, he doesn't have a stage. He and I would hope that it wouldn't be the tugboat, on the pier.
I like the tugboat on a pier.
Ken is a rich guy. He doesn't need to be fighting on the docks in South Baltimore.
He's rich, but he lives a modest lifestyle.
Not in Street Fighter Alpha. He had a yacht in the background.
Well, that's because that was early and he was young and dumb. To live with some humility. Now he's got a ponytail and he knows how to be humble. So
that'll probably be the next stage. That'll probably be the next stage they put out there.
Listen, I'm enjoying myself so far thoroughly. It's taken me away from Destiny a little bit this past week. I basically just did milestones and that's it.
There you go.
This weekend. So
you didn't help New Monarchy win.
I only turned in like 3 packages, I think. Didn't really do much with Faction Rise because there's not really a lot of incentive right now. Because the only thing, like I have all but one piece of the New Monarchy armor set. Mm-hmm. So the only thing I'd be doing is chasing ornaments, and they were okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of like the animal crests on the different Wet Destiny stuff. So like getting a giant lion on my cloak is not exactly making me rush to do patrols on the enemies.
Do 15 patrols. Like, oh, Jesus Christ.
That's cruel and unusual punishment. Maybe if I've got a milestone, like a fucking public milestone that I need to work towards, but that's about it.
Like a powerful Ingram to do all that dumb shit.
Exactly right. So don't forget, if you've not subscribed to the premium channel yet, please do that at densepixels.com/premium. Just $5 a month or $50 will subscribe you for the entire year to get episodes of the Airing of Grievances, the Look Forward Political podcast, which is must listen in this day and age. You also get the Men with the Golden Tongues. The Skyfall episode is now available for your consumption. And No Time to Bleed, which we did cliffhanger a week or so ago. And that was a very good episode as well. So again, $5 a month, $50 a year. You also get video episodes of the main show in the network, The Nerdpocalypse, as part of that subscription as well. I enjoyed your anecdote about your wife also being an aggressive driver.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it is about broads, but they're crazy behind the wheel.
Told you then you probably saw in the fan group or in our staff group, but my wife will reach across me to honk my horn.
Yeah, nah, don't do that.
I'm not.
Stop, Erica. I had to yell at Erica not to do that one time. And I'm not a person.
Do not fucking touch the horn when I'm driving.
Right.
Like,
and I'm not a.
You do it, but
I am not a yeller and a screamer. So she was like, all right, I'm not going to do that anymore.
YouTube.com/DensePixels is the URL for our YouTube channel. Please go there. Please click the red subscribe button while you're there. Please click the bell icon so that you get notifications from when we post new content. We upload this show in video format every single week. We also upload any Let's Plays that we do, any game reviews, things of that nature. And also, we've been twice a week, we've been releasing small clips of this podcast. And those are not really for you guys listening, because you guys listen to the whole thing. But we would appreciate if you guys would share those clips out to your friends on Facebook and Twitter and other social media, so that other folks can check out the podcast. That's why we're putting those up, as more easily digestible snippets to kind of get people to wander in and check out the whole show. So if you guys could share those out when we post them, that would be awesome. We would really appreciate it. And then if you use Spotify for your podcast, like some sort of misaligned, confused savage instead of like a real podcatching app, that's fine, I guess. We're on there too, along with all the other TNP studio shows. So if you use Spotify for podcasts, you can find us on Spotify as we speak. So new releases this week. Dragon Ball FighterZ is making its long anticipated release on the Xbox One and PS4. I know there are many in our fan group that are excited about this.
It's getting solid reviews, man, and I'm happy for people who, despite the fact that I think all of those characters look exactly the same, I am happy for people when they're a fan of something and it gets the proper treatment,
like the royal treatment, like it's
yeah, like that's cool, man. Like I wish, I'm not a huge fan of any one particular thing, but I get it. You know what I mean? Fuck yeah, man. Enjoy that shit. I'm still gonna make fun of it though.
We both will. Sorry to say, but that game is gonna get dragged on this show, but in jest. By the way, I do like how Capcom recut Dragon Ball FighterZ after Dragon Ball FighterZ kind of cucked Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
by putting out the Street Fighter arcade release a couple weeks before that game debuted. Very nice reverse troll. Monster Hunter World is releasing this Friday as well. Micah, I have a sneaking suspicion and a this impending dread in my heart that I'm going to somehow get sucked into this game. I'm gonna somehow get tricked into trying it, and it's gonna be something that I fall into. I'm worried about it.
I could see myself really liking this game, but only playing it with other people, the way it's meant to be played.
Got a 39 out of 40 on Famitsu, which is not easy to do.
Wow, I did not know that, but yeah, the only reason that I'm not getting it is because I don't have 3 other people that I know are going to get it and be dedicated in playing it together. It looks fun. And it's gotta be fun, right? Monster Hunter is a phenomenon over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that are phenomenons over there that don't necessarily translate across the door. So I'm not banking on that. I'm just saying that the little the below the surface buzz that this game is getting is making me take a look at it. I have so much time to play another video game that demands 80 to 100 hours of your life. So, and then The Impatient, a new VR horror game. This is sort of a somewhat of a prequel to Until Dawn in many ways. It takes place 60 years before Until Dawn, but it takes place in the same universe, I guess you can say. So it's getting good reviews. So if you have a VR and you like scary stuff, this might be one that's worth checking out. Digitally, Assassin's Creed Origins: The Hidden Ones. This is the first, as far as I know, the first piece of major DLC that's coming out for Assassin's Creed Origins. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I think. I'm not positive.
Celeste, which looks like a difficult action platformer from the same folks that made Towerfall Ascension. It's coming on PS4 and Xbox One. Iconoclast is a game that I have not looked into, but I've been hearing a few people talk about it on PS4. I'll need to look into that one more. A game called Lost Sphere, which they have chosen a just ridiculously stupid spelling of the word sphere, because I guess they don't want people to find that game. Is also coming out. And then, of course, this week's highlight release, the must-play, must-check-out release of this week, is Wild Turkey Hunter, coming out on the PlayStation 4, which is a game that, look, man, I appreciate when you get truth in advertising from the title of a game. When you can look at the title of a game and know exactly what that game is about. That game is Wild Turkey Hunter, a game where you hunt wild turkeys. Because I guess they thought that, well, there's a lot of people out there that might want the experience that you get from Monster Hunter World, but might not want to play a Japanese RPG-ish type of game like Monster Hunter World. So we'll give them Wild Turkey Hunter instead.
When you want realism in your monster hunting games, pick up Wild Turkey Hunter. Isn't that a whiskey or something like that?
Wild Turkey is a whiskey, yes.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's what the thing should have been. It should have been it should have been a VR game, and it's a first-person VR game of a drunk guy looking for a bottle of wild turkey and just accosting people on the street.
No, but only like a Barney Gumble-ish type of person would seek out Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey is not very good whiskey. So
but I knew what it was.
You did. I mean, I give you credit for that much.
Yeah, that's got to be worth like half a point.
And then only one release date news announcement. We Happy Few, a game that, of course, has been bandied about for a little bit and is supposed to come out in April, has been delayed into the summer. And I am getting the Micah Payne trademark bad vibes from this one. I'm afraid that it is not going to be all that it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, first of all, it always looked like a BioShock ripoff, like a combination of BioShock and Dishonored, right? Like it looks like someone really loved those games and was like, "Oh, let's just make a game and just take a little bit of this, take a little bit of that." And then wasn't it in like beta or early access forever?
It's been in early access forever. It's still in early.
Yeah, and that nah.
So this week's headlines, reports from Eurogamer citing multiple anonymous sources say that Microsoft is currently making a new game in the Fable franchise.
Ooh.
And it's developed by Playground Games. And if you're saying who's Playground Games, they are the folks who are the makers of the Forza Horizon series. So naturally, when you want to make a Fable game, an action role-playing game, you call the guys who make the more arcadey version of your trademark racing series.
Are you excited for another?
Hell no! I fucking hated Fable. I bought Fable 2 when I got an Xbox 360, which is widely considered to be the best Fable game of the three, if I'm not mistaken. I was just like, I think I probably played it for like 8-10 hours, and I was like, why do people like this game? Like, am I supposed to be impressed by it? Like, this sucks. This is not good, guys. This is not good at all. It wasn't fun.
Yeah, those games are a bit of a chore, especially Fable 3 after you so in Fable 3, like did you play Fable 3 or didn't bother? So in Fable 3, you It's the story. It's the same story, right?
I mean, I know it happens. Like, I know, like you become king like halfway
Yeah.
through the game,
And then like instead of like Peter Molyneux had the genius idea of what happens after happily ever after. What happens after you become the king? Bureaucratic shit. Like you got to sit and listen to people's fucking problems. You got to balance budgets.
you had
And you
John
got to,
at least.
yeah, man. And you got to leave your Xbox on overnight so that you can accrue a bunch of money so that you can figure out your fucking problems. Because that's the like it. That, Fable 3 was just the epitome of everything that's wrong with Fable. Oh, look, you can hold hands with NPCs and develop a relationship. Like, nah, yo, nah, get out of my face. Oh,
So
you
I
can have
just want to
sex with prostitutes and you use condoms and dirty condoms. Like, what? What the fuck, yo? Like, what is going on here?
now it might be unfair to pigeonhole the developers over at Playground Games, like saying like, oh, you somehow because you make racing games, you're incapable of making this action role playing game. I'm not saying that. That's probably an unfair thing to strike out. But I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, part of it is because you just don't want another Fable game.
That's true. That's true. But it's just funny. Microsoft is not commenting on this officially, which usually that denial is usually a confirmation of sorts. There are some people from the former Lionhead Game Studio that are a little salty about this because they're salty because they wanted to make like a Fable 4 essentially when Microsoft had them working on that Fable Legends game that never came out.
Yeah.
That ended up being the studio being shuttered. So yeah, they were a little salty. I get it.
Yo, there was a Fable Connect game.
Yeah, Fable the Journey. That was actually the last Fable game that released officially.
Oof.
Apparently not good.
Mm.
Not good at all.
That is a damn shame.
But yes, but apparently they were inspired by the success of Horizon Zero Dawn, which led to them wanting to revisit this action RPG staple franchise. Microsoft. So I guarantee you ain't gonna be as good as Horizon. I can fucking promise you that shit.
Weren't we just talking about what original IP does Microsoft have to make people want to buy an Xbox? There you go. Fable.
You really think Fable?
Of course
not.
It
would be an Xbox
movie. This thing ain't moving nothing. This thing is moving bowels. That's all this thing is moving. Get this shit out of my face. Fable.
From the makers of Forza Horizon, here is Fable. That's how that's going to be advertised. So, I'm happy for anyone that's happy about this news, but I can't. That is not me. So I did not know this. Apparently, the majority of PUBG's PC install base is in China. I did not realize that. But Tencent, who distributes the game in China, is cracking down on cheaters, and moreover, they are getting assistance from the Chinese government.
Jesus.
To do this. So far, cops have opened 30 cases and made more than 120 arrests in cracking down on bot makers for PUBG.
As big as that country is, and as many people as that country has, you would really think that the police should have more to do than worry about a bunch of people cheating on a video game. I'm not saying don't punish cheaters. I'm saying maybe the police shouldn't be punishing cheaters.
That does seem a little extreme, doesn't it?
Just a little bit.
I wonder what the penalty is for that.
Yeah, like, do you get thrown in jail or whatever? Like, what?
I mean, it is China, so who the fuck knows? You never know. So apparently, and the other reason that I wanted to pull this story is because it has some figures in here which are just Overwhelming. So apparently the install base for PUBG is 27.6. Let me get my best Micah here. Million people that are playing PUBG, and almost 10 million of them are in China, with another 8 million in the United States.
There's a lot of people playing this game.
That
man.
is a lot of people.
There's a lot of people playing this game. Can I ask you a question? You may not know the answer to this, but in the story, you see the image there of this person holding a what looks to be some sort of long-barreled rifle.
I do.
I see a lot of these images when PUBG is talked about. Like a lot of images of a person in the center of a screen. Usually it's like a gray background in the back. What's the deal with these images? Because PUBG doesn't look like this.
No, it doesn't.
Not from what I've seen.
No, I mean it's
Are they just, is it just is it just like promotional art?
pretty much, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Just stylized like promo art to be like, look, you can control someone with a gun. Like that's literally what that is telling you.
Like, look, you can drink some wild turkey and think that people think that our game looks this good.
There's a vehicle in the background. Like, okay, that's fantastic.
Here's a guy in a parka with a gun. Like, wait, what? Here's a woman with a helmet and a sleeveless sweater. That doesn't really make sense, does it? Anyway, I don't understand the phenomenon, but if you're having fun, fuck it. Have fun.
So one would think that the success of one game should not impact the success of a completely unrelated game. But when those games come from the same studio and both games are quote unquote games as service, it's exactly what might happen, as we're finding out with Epic Games. Epic Games sent a letter on Reddit to its community, and they have said the future of their popular MOBA Paragon is uncertain at this time. And the reason that it's uncertain is because they have actually moved employees off of Paragon to assist with Fortnite because of the insane growth and popularity that Fortnite has seen, especially since the release of the Battle Royale mode for that game. So according to the letter, quote, our efforts have always been focused on growing the game. In this case, they're talking about Paragon. While each of Paragon's incarnations has been beloved by a core community, none has been large enough to achieve mainstream success. This, combined with the humbling success of Fortnite, has caused us to question if we have a good path to grow Paragon and make it thrive. End quote. So yeah, so Paragon has been a game that's gone through a lot of tumult since it's come out. Most recently, a few months back, I remember the story that they completely changed the progression system in the game, going from a more traditional MOBA system where you level up characters to a card-based system, where you have to earn, find cards and to get different abilities for your characters. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that divided the community pretty heavily when that happened. Wouldn't be shocked if they lost a bunch of people, but I thought Paragon was fairly successful for them. I did not realize that it was I don't know if struggling is the right word, but I did not realize that it was not quite on quite as stable ground as they made it seem.
I don't necessarily play all these hero shooters, but I am aware of the popular ones. And I remember Paragon when it came out because I saw people playing it. I'm like, this looks kind of cool. Maybe
I still see people playing it. I have a friend of mine who I follow on Twitch and on PS4 plays it regularly.
Yeah. And I remember seeing the guy you work with. I remember seeing him playing it a lot. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, that guy knows his stuff when it comes to games. Maybe I should check this out. I never did. But I don't hear anybody talking about it anymore. I do hear people talking about Fortnite and how much fun they think Fortnite is over PUBG. So I figured those are the Pepsi and Coke of these games as service.
Which is ironic because Fortnite did not start as the PUBG competitor. It started as a cooperative, like base building horde mode game.
Yeah,
and that's still what it is in its main form.
yeah.
I think the addition of the battle royale mode took that game to a whole nother level, especially because the battle royale mode specifically is free to play.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, yeah, like it's interesting that they're siphoning resources away from Paragon to improve Fortnite. I mean, look, you have to go where your bread's buttered. If Fortnite's pulling in a ton of money and you can make that game very successful, I get why you want to bolster the staff. But as long as Paragon's not like a money loser,
yeah,
I don't see why you wouldn't just hire more people instead of moving positions around.
Maybe they see the writing on the wall with Paragon. I don't know what their numbers look like, but I know if they're willing to pull resources off of a game that, from what I can tell, is decent to make a already above average game, a real contender, a competitor. Hey man, I get it. Why hire more people when you can cut your losses and bolster this thing that is already a winner.
What this also tells me is that when it comes to MOBAs, League of Legends is almost unassailable, basically. I mean, because aside from League, like Paragon and like Drop Zone were the ones that I only heard of Drop Zone because we did a feature with them.
Yeah.
But Paragon was really the only one that I had heard of. Besides League of Legends. And I thought that game was comfortably like number 2 behind League. Guess not.
Yeah, I guess not.
So interesting news from Epic Games. But yeah, I mean, I get the business sense. It came as a surprise to me when I heard that. So we'll see how much longer Paragon has before it is out of time, let's say.
And then we'll find out how long it takes Cliff Bleszinski to blame Paragon for the poor sales of what is his game?
Lawbreakers.
I legit did not remember, and we just did a story about it like last week or a week or two ago. It's a very forgettable game, Cliff. It's a very forgettable game.
So, last in headlines. An announcement that I did not see.
What the fuck is this?
Oh, wait, apparently you missed it. So, a collaboration is happening between PlayStation, Nike Basketball, and NBA superstar Paul George to come out with the new PG-2 PlayStation Colorway basketball shoe from Nike. These are new shoes in the Paul George line, I guess. I don't know how fucking shoe deals work with NBA players. You'll have to forgive me on that. But they are a special PlayStation branded shoe. The little lace holes are in the 4 PlayStation colors. They have like a PlayStation Galactic like theme around the sole of the shoe. The Nike swooshes that are on the shoe also are in the 4 different PlayStation colors, the blue, red, green, and pink. And yeah, there's a PlayStation logo on one of the tongues. There is a PlayStation serial number on the little heel pull in the back for some reason.
What the fuck?
So here's the bullet points. Okay, here we go. So the tongue of the shoes sport the Paul George and PlayStation logos, which illuminate and pulsate blue, just like when you turn on the PlayStation console. The back heel of the left sole has a unique barcode that contains a PSN voucher code, which can be redeemed at the PlayStation Store for a Paul George dynamic theme for your PS4.
What the fuck? Yeah.
The colors of the sneaker pay homage to the buttons on the DualShock 4 controller. The iconic PlayStation symbols are embossed in patent leather on each shoe, and the look of the PG Paul George dynamic theme is reflected in the sock liner on each shoe. Paul George says that I consider myself one of the biggest gamers in the NBA. Ever since getting my PS2 for Christmas as a kid, goddamn, do I feel old. My game has gone with me wherever I go, so working with PlayStation was something that felt inevitable to Paul George.
God damn.
Now, Micah, we all know. We have no bones about it on this show. I am a PlayStation super fan. So what would you say is the percent likelihood that I would be interested in purchasing this sneaker?
Honestly, I don't know if you would purchase it because you wouldn't purchase it outright. You would wait until your next conference to see if they would give them to you. And if they didn't give them to you, I could see you paying $100, maybe 120 for these shoes.
Okay, so I would not get these for free because that would be a logistical nightmare to get people. That I know for sure. Also, I can tell you, and this is an unfair thing to put on you because you don't know my shoe size. The percent chance that I would get this is a flat 0 because
Really?
I guarantee that they are not making this shoe in a 13 wide.
I don't know, man.
That is not happening.
I don't know, man. Maybe you can get these in a 14 like medium.
No, that's not how shoes work, Micah. Like getting a bigger size is longer, not wide.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know what fits me.
Now that being said, if I could find them in my size, there is at least a 30% chance that I would look into getting these.
Honestly, I'm gonna try and find these in your size and see what the price are. Where can you get these things?
They come out on February 10th. Because apparently sneakers have a release date. Again, a world that I know nothing about at all. Can I find a price? You know what? I'm going to let Nike. I've never done this before. I'm going to let Nike. Oh, $110, huh?
What'd I tell you?
That is mighty reasonable.
Yeah, it is.
Mighty reasonable for those.
Yeah, it is.
Oh. Do I want to own the PlayStation shoe?
You know you want. Come on, yo. Come on.
Oh my God. I'll tell you what I am doing right now, and this is happening as we speak. I am going to download the Nike sneakers app on my phone so that I get a notification when they go on sale. So look, Micah, I'm looking at close-ups of the shoe. They have the square, triangle, circle.
Yeah, in the mat of the shoe. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know you get these, man. You know you getting them. Just don't even fight it, man. Don't even fight it. You're like, I don't know who the hell PG is.
I know who Paul George is. I've heard that name before. He apparently plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I didn't know they had a lot of thunderstorms in Oklahoma, but all right.
And the Rolling Plains.
You know you get these things, man. Like, don't even deny yourself. Don't even deny yourself. That's like Nike coming out with a pair of Dr. Doom tennis. You think I'm not gonna get them? Come on, man.
I'm gonna investigate when it comes out.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
Don't
be surprised. Come February 11th or whatever that next Monday is, that you see Brad kicking up his feet.
I would show that shit on camera in a second.
February 12th. Tune in.
It's like the only shoe that I would ever make a point to go out and buy.
I mean, look, if you say PlayStation shoe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking like whenever there's like a gimmick shoe, like they usually look like gaudy.
Right. This doesn't look that gaudy.
This doesn't look gaudy at all. Like from far away, they just look like black. They look like black tennis. And I'm gonna keep calling them tennis because I'm black and from Baltimore, and we call tennis shoes tennis, not sneakers. Ain't nobody sneaking around in these things. They got lights on them. You can't sneak around. And they look like just black shoes, with a red swoosh on it. But upon closer inspection, like you can appreciate all the PlayStation like goodness in it. Like normally if you heard PlayStation shoe, I would think PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, the shoe, where it's just a bunch of stupid looking characters all over the shoe.
All over the shoe, yeah. That would be
right. And that would look tacky. These look good, man. These look real good.
I will tell you this.
This kind of makes me want to watch basketball.
We're not crossing that. But I will tell you this. If possible, if I did buy these shoes, if I did buy them, if it's possible, I would buy them from deadpixels.com/Amazon. Because that way, when I spent $110 on my PlayStation shoe, that's it. But I don't care what the fuck it's actually called. It's the PlayStation shoe. If I spent $110 on the PlayStation shoe, the Dense Pixels podcast would get a small. I'd still pay the same price. Like, it doesn't cost me anything extra. You see, but the Dense Pixels podcast would get a small percentage of the sale, which they would use presumably to pay for things like hosting fees, which are very expensive, and equipment and things like that. So that's the best way that I can help the podcast, is by buying the PlayStation shoe from densepixels.com/Amazon. And all of you can do the same thing. No matter what you buy, it doesn't just have to be the PlayStation shoe. You can buy anything on Amazon. If you use densepixels.com/Amazon, you help support the podcast. And we appreciate it. You get a heartfelt thanks. Yeah.
You don't see no Xbox shoe.
No, you certainly do not. You certainly, but then again, I mean, if you want to rep Xbox on your clothes, you can just buy a Seattle Sounders jersey.
The Xbox shoe would look like a big ass Timberland boot. Just big and loud. Nintendo unveiled what they are calling a new interactive experience for the Nintendo Switch. It's called Nintendo Labo. And no, it is not a Labrador for your Nintendo.
What?
That's what they call Labradors, right? Labos. That's a beautiful Labo.
Spoken like a dog expert, of which definitely not. Good Lord.
So, the Nintendo Labo will let Nintendo Switch owners build cardboard versions of real-world items, like a 13-key piano, a fishing rod, or a motorbike. Nintendo calls those cardboard creations Toy-Cons.
Oh, I did not know that before we got to this.
And by inserting the Joy-Con into the Toy-Con, you have a new way of playing the Nintendo Switch. Now look, here's the thing, right? Nintendo is very, very good at pulling on your heartstrings and making you feel like a kid again and tapping into the thing that makes you want to use your imagination. But if we just step back from nostalgia for just 1 second, you will realize that the Toy-Cons are nothing but cardboard versions of the plastic bullshit that you put your Wii remote in. Don't be fooled. They almost got me. I saw a video of a guy. He remixed this Nintendo Labo video, and he put the Willy Wonka music behind it. And just looking at this stuff, and come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. While the kid is playing Rock'em Sock'em Robots with a fucking cardboard. No, Nintendo is turning you into bums, yo. Bums. They have little Hoovervilles for your Nintendo Switch, and they're turning you into vagrants. Yo, they're going to take over the fucking world, and you're going to let them. Don't do it. Yo, I was all for this, but then I stepped back and realized, wait a minute, this is just a cheaper version. This ain't even plastic. This shit, at least, it's biodegradable junk. It's biodegradable shit that you stick your goddamn Joy-Cons in, and they cost $70. $70? What the fuck? Look, you want to save yourself $70? Go to a Target, go to a Walmart, every store like that. You talk to somebody that works in the back and say, hey, can I get some cardboard boxes? And there you go. They will give them shits to you because all they do is just throw that shit away. I know. I used to work for a store like that. I used to do it to people. I used to give it to people. Give them a bunch of cardboard boxes. Just say, yeah, I'm moving. I need some cardboard boxes. And then you can go around and use your imagination and play pretend piano with your fucking cardboard box. Don't pay $70 and $80 for a bunch of fucking cardboard.
To play devil's advocate, it does come with software also for that price point.
Mm-hmm. It better.
When I first saw the news for this, I let the news pass by me because I looked at it and I said, obviously, this is not something that's marketed towards me. No. But that being said, I could see maybe my son enjoying this.
If you got kids, like people do stuff for their kids like this, right? I get it. I bet not see one grown ass person carry with a playing cardboard piano.
But see, but like, and I was like leaning towards like maybe I will get this for my son. Then I saw Toy Cons and my enthusiasm level dropped a percentage of which I don't know yet. That's a bad name.
It is a bad name, but I mean, I get it. Like, I get the name.
Spot on call there, by the way, of saying that these are just plastic doodads in cardboard form. So
yeah, that's all it is, man. Like, look, if you're excited for it, good. I'm glad you're excited for it, but just know that you're essentially excited over the plastic racket that you played a generation ago, and the plastic golf club that you played a generation ago. Look, I get it, man. Like Nintendo is really good at what it does, man. And I'm seeing grown like our buddy out in California. He sent me a message and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this!" Like, because he's a sentimental guy, right? He falls for this shit. And I'm like, yeah. And that's the first time I had seen it. And I was like, oh, all right, that's kind of cool, And then I just stepped back and thought, like, wait a minute. You're literally putting this little itty bitty remote into another thing and then using that to control your video game system. Get out of here, yo. Get out of here. And then I gotta put this shit together. This is like the video game version of the self-checkout line. Like, no, I'm paying you to entertain me. I'm gonna pay you $70 for me to. What do you think about this? And your genuine feeling, like not just to play devil's advocate. Like I know you mentioned about, like, do you think this is genius innovation, or do you think it's just Nintendo nonsense?
It's genius innovation. The perspective that I appreciate this from is as someone who has an interest in the logistics of business. Mm-hmm. Like I appreciate that they've created something that has incredibly low overhead costs for them and will probably be very profitable for them. The technology is cool. The fact that this is something that's easily expanded, if it's popular, is smart because they can just make another fucking cardboard thing and send it out and then update your game. Like you could conceivably buy I use this term as loosely as possible, expansion packs for this thing for like $10 a piece if you wanted to. Because how much does it cost to ship out a fucking sheet of cardboard? Yeah. Not much.
Yeah.
It's smart. I'm sure it will be popular with the audience that they are intending it to be. That being and look, on the plus side, when you buy a plastic piece of shit, it clogs up your house. When you're done with this, you throw that into a recycling bin and you're done. And now you're giving back to the environment. Yeah. All the way around. It's fine. Like I said, it is not marketed towards me, but it may prove to be an effective way, especially for me, who has a son who has autism, and he, it's hard to break through to him with certain things. This might be a way to connect him to video games. That will allow him to step into it easily. So from that standpoint, I'm actually a little excited about it. That's fine. And that's fine. But I wouldn't buy it for myself in a million years. I can tell you that. So
the Nintendo Labo will be released April 20th, 2018. The product line starts at $69.99 and currently includes a variety kit, which includes a house, RC cars, fishing rod, motorbike, and piano, and a robot kit. It costs $79.99 and comes with a, quote, cool robot suit. Each kit comes with its own software. The Labo line also includes a customization set that comes with fun stencils, stickers, and colored tape. The Nintendo Labo customization costs $9.99.
Just see magic markers that you probably have at home.
Yeah. Or you just pay $10 for duct tape. Fuck, just use the duct tape that came with the packaging of this.
You think wow. So you think games come packaged in duct tape now?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you're getting this thing, let's say you order this thing.
What the fuck truck are you buying your games off of?
Let's say you order this thing from Amazon, right? And you got to put this cardboard box in another cardboard box because you don't want it to get damaged. Like, maybe Amazon ran out of the clear tape and they just put some duct tape on it.
Yeah, I'm sure that Amazon, one of the most successful companies in the country, just ran out of fucking packing tape.
Hey, maybe they don't even use it. Like, maybe they didn't run out. Maybe they elected to use duct tape. Maybe duct tape is cheaper. That's how the rich stay rich.
Oh my god, that is also not true.
You know why I brought up duct tape? Speaking of duct tape, someone whose mouth needs to be duct taped.
Oh my god, what?
I'm
a minute setting up that segment.
Look, I'm not good at them. I'm not good at them.
The juice was not worth the squeeze on it. I'm gonna tell you.
What is wrong with young white male gamers named Felix with blonde hair and weird last names? So an Overwatch player who plays on the Dallas Fuel, his name is Felix Lengyel. Is that how you pronounce that?
He goes more popularly by XQC.
XQC has found himself in hot water once again, this time for directing an insensitive insult at a player for the Houston Outlaws shortly after the Outlaws swept the Fuel 4-1 at a Overwatch match on the pitch. Goal. That's all I know. Apparently, dude Austin Wilmot, who plays on the Outlaws, did the most insulting thing that a professional wrestler can do to another professional wrestler: use his signature move.
He stole his gimmick.
He stole his gimmick. In this case, Austin stole Felix's signature line, something about rolling and smoking weed or some such. I don't know what you young people do when you play Overwatch, but he stole that line. And Felix said, quote, "That's fucked up shit." Lengo said during his stream, drawing a comparison to a hypothetical traditional sports player yelling at another player while they were benched with a broken arm. That's actually fucked up. Quote, "You didn't smoke shit," he added. "Shut your fucking mouth. Go back there and suck a fat cock. I mean, you would like it." Austin is openly gay and brushed off the comment on his own stream, referring to Felix as a homophobic piece of garbage. And he says, "I'll just keep winning, because that's what you do when you're a grown-up. You just win, no matter what. You keep money on your mind, and you never give it up." And I can't remember the rest of the lyrics, but
it's something about hands going up or something.
Yeah, if Terrence were here, he would be ashamed of me.
Up.
Felix apologized on Twitter, saying everything is so fucking trash. I hope lately. I hope I can turn this into something good. Sorry to the dude. And the dude accepted his apology. Yeah, people think they can do whatever they want. In a recent interview, Dallas Fuel owner Mike Rufail said his intent on letting his players, many of them big personalities, be themselves. He added, however, that there'll be consequences for players who go against his team's code of conduct, which Felix certainly did, and is serving at least one match suspension for it. Update: Blizzard has specified that Felix is suspended for a total of 4 matches and will be fined $2,000. And the Dallas Fuel announced they will uphold Blizzard's suspension and also bench Felix for the remainder of the season. Season 1's first stage. So there you go. Stop.
So dudes like this are the reason that they can't find female players.
Yeah. Like,
in the league, I guess.
Like, come on, man. And then somebody like him would turn around and be like, "Well, if you can't take it, this is why we don't have girls, because you can't take it." Like, nah, yo. Like, you wouldn't do that at work, and this is your work. Like, this is your job. I don't.
I mean, so the slur. I mean, that wasn't even really a slur, honestly. The trash talk, we'll call it, is a little uncouth.
It's very uncouth,
and because he knew what he was doing, right?
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's that's like, it's not cool to be like to he's speaking to him in a negative tone and equating a homosexual act to it, and that's not cool. Like, what the fuck?
Like, knowing that the guy is gay, also,
right, and knowing that he's gay, but like, God damn it! God damn it. Like, is it the bleach in the blonde hair? Is it the bleach in the hair that's fucking these kids' brains up, man? I don't know what it is. He even looks like Jailbird or whatever the fuck his name is. Like when I first glanced at this image, I was like, oh, what the fuck did PewDiePie do again? But it's not. It's another dude.
That is kind of bizarre. How you have 2 notable gaming personalities, both blonde kids from Sweden named Felix.
Yeah,
that are both kind of assholes.
They're all fucking clones.
Oh.
They all look alike, and they all have blonde hair. And they're all bigots.
I was waiting for him to say, like, "Oh, just locker room talk."
Yeah, yeah.
So I was waiting for. So, question of the week. We asked you guys. It's what do you people want? It's the tried and true, often imitated, never duplicated, which we will discuss later in this. Stuart starts us off. He says, "If Nintendo are so kid friendly, why is their current console named after something that you beat children with? Also, with concerns that Red Dead Online can't match the amount of content in GTA Online, do you think that Rockstar might try to implement a class or faction system where you can play as the law, the outlaws, and more in between guns for hire that creates alternate online story paths and missions and contextualizes PvP modes more?" I think I do think this is something that people are speculating on because Red Dead's coming out soon. They haven't detailed the inevitable online mode at all. They have to do something different than what GTA Online is, because it's not like GTA Online is going to stop being popular once Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out,
right?
And you don't want to cannibalize your own audience. Like, you want GTA to continue to make you money while Red Dead also makes you money. So it's going to be different. I have no idea what they're going to do though in this one for the online. What do you think of Stuart's idea to have different factions? Basically,
I like Stuart's idea. Just one big ass game of tag, hide and seek, and maybe the outlaws can switch factions on whoever, for whatever side, or maybe you can make some sort of side deal with somebody, or I don't know. I do like that idea though.
It's interesting if it's implemented well. Yeah, we'll see. I still think they're going to have a thing where you can spend real money to get fake money so that you can play fake poker for fake money. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm just waiting for real gambling to be a thing inside of GTA, like actual gambling, not like a little loot box, but like actually playing fucking poker inside of a video game using real money to do that. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's gonna be great. My best friend in the whole wide world, Cam, says open betas. I get that part of their function is to test game servers and help the devs fix issues before the game comes out. But fucking hell, can they at least function at 80% before giving them to the general public? I'm assuming Cam is referring to the struggling at times Dragon Ball FighterZ beta that happened this past weekend.
They probably did have a bunch of them on. There's just so many Dragon Ball fans out there. Like, I'm not even trying to make a joke yet. Like, there's just a ton of Dragon Ball fans out there. And apparently this game's low barrier for entry is incredibly appealing. You know, if you know how to press a button, like apparently there are people out here who have played 27 whole matches and just not landed one hit. Like, I don't know what your problem is. But yeah, look, betas, I don't necessarily open betas are I don't like open betas. I like closed betas.
You know
if
what?
You really want to test the system, like you release a few codes out as much as you release a few codes, then you release a few more to see if it holds up, then you release a few more, then you release a few more. These like soft launches of games just they're glorified demos, and you can only get them. You can only get access to them if you pre-order the game. So,
would it be? Is it the term beta? I wonder. That
maybe that's it. Because beta is a buzzword now. It's just the new term for a demo.
Would it be easier if you called it a preview test or something along those lines?
Maybe. Maybe.
Cam also says, don't let this question distract you from the fact that the Brad and Cam show, that's actually the Cam and Brad show, will be taking over SmackDown Live next week as your first ever WWE World Heavyweight Champions. That is correct. And we will talk all about that next week on the podcast, of course, as Cam and I take on the dastardly AJ Styles. Malcolm says, how do you guys feel about Street Fighter 5 AE? We talked about that at the top of the show. Soccer is fun to play with. Also, Micah, Dragon Ball Z might have Aryans, but Street Fighter has Balrog, who is ignorant, hates math, and has Forrest Whitaker eye. Pre-picks for the Royal Rumble.
Street Fighter has black characters.
It does. Johnny in the replies below this specifically mentioned Birdie and Dudley. Bruv, as he said.
They don't count, apparently. They're not American. I would rather have Dudley as a representative of black people than Staff Officer Black. Yes, that's one of those characters' names that I posted. Staff Officer Black.
Yeah, so to follow this up, and you can go into the thread. Micah bringing it to the mat, where he posted some of the darker complexion characters in the Dragon Ball Z franchise, and me, not a Dragon Ball fan, saw these pictures and did not believe that these were things that could possibly exist. I mean, I'm looking at the bald dude that's in the second picture that you posted. I don't know what his name is.
His name is Staff Officer Black.
Okay.
Because of course it is.
Of course it is.
Staff Officer nigger with the big fucking lips and googly eyes. Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, what the fuck? Like
this dude looks like a white guy that is wearing a black person mask with a hole cut out of it. Like that's right. That's what this picture looks like.
This guy looks like he's wearing a balaclava. For fuck's sakes.
Yes. A balaclava with eyebrows on it. That's what he looks like he's wearing. Ridiculous. I thought Barrett was a bad Japanese representation of black people. Holy shit.
And would you like to know the name of the first guy? The guy with the green
TJ combo over here?
His name is Killer. Killer.
With an A?
Yes.
Of course.
Because apparently Akira Toriyama went to the Vince McMahon school of naming black people for their combat sports and named him Killer and the other guy Staff Officer Black. What the what? And then Mr. Popo is ridiculous. I mean, come on, yo. Like one, his name is Mr. Popo. Two, his skin is jet black. And three, he's got big red lips. Like, and no, Piccolo does not count as your official black man of Dragon Ball Z. No, because black people don't look like that. Just like they don't look like Killer and Staff Officer Black.
I was aghast. I was not even kidding. Awful. Absolutely awful. Toriyama should be cheating himself.
Hey, man, look. At least Street Fighter has a black guy in it. Now, you may not like him, but he's in it. The closest thing to a black person you have in Dragon Ball Fighters is Goku Black, and he ain't even black.
How can I don't get this. I don't get how can black people see that and be like, this I'm still cool with this. Like is that not like a major source of contention for black fans of Dragon Ball Z?
I think they don't. I think a lot of black fans of Dragon Ball don't really pit too much mind because you don't really see a lot of black representation in that show from what I can tell. And it just boils down to like, you know, your base, like the base instincts of just like, oh, it's cool fighting. Like I've always said that Dragon Ball is the professional wrestling of anime, in which there are two guys talking for 20 minutes about how they're going to beat each other's asses and then spend the last 10 minutes of the show fighting each other and then using their special moves to end it. Like it, and that's a gross oversimplification, but yeah, that's what it was to me. And which is weird because I don't really care for it. And I do care for a little bit of anime and professional wrestling. So I don't know. But I see your point. But still, they got Nazis in that game, bro. Nazis. Nazis and no black people. Have fun playing that game, Malcolm.
And look, and if you're like, well, do you get upset at like when crazy white characters get depicted, like Sheriff J.W. Pepper, for example, in Live and Let Die? And I say no because I know white people ain't shit. So
well, there's also like to Malcolm's point, like it's there's Sheriff J.W. Pepper, and then everybody else is fucking Captain America. You know what I mean? Like and Malcolm just wants to see just like a normal black dude. Just like a black Randy Orton. Just like a two-named guy who just comes down and
what, like in Street Fighter, you mean?
Yeah, or in anything really. You know, like just like why does he have to be googly-eyed and ignorant? You know what I mean? Like why does he have to be Barrett? You know what I mean? Hey, Sparky! Yeah, what the fuck you say to me, Sparky? Whoa! Like, all right, Barrett. Just calm down, yo. Just calm down. So I get his point.
Justin says, what are your thoughts on the announcement of the HTC Vive Pro and the direction / evolution of VR in general? I missed this announcement. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
The HTC Vive Pro versus the Oculus. How much better is this new headset? How much is it really? Is the big question for me.
It also appears to be wireless as well, which I think is a key thing you need to really get VR taken off. That's one of the biggest things about the PlayStation VR. The reason I don't use it that much is because it's a fucking pain in the ass to have on and to have that wire draped all over you, basically. But see, here's the problem with the Vive Pro, and it's the same problem the regular Vive has. Your Joe Schmo, PC user doesn't have the rig for this, and this is going to even involve more hardware. VR is going in the right direction, but I wonder if it's ever going to get to mainstream appeal. Like honestly, the PlayStation VR is doing more to help that cause than anything else right now.
Well, just because it's it's backed behind a brand,
right? And it's easy. Like it's not hard. Like, oh, I just have to have a PS4 and I plug a couple wires in, and go. You know, there's not a lot of complexity to that.
Yeah.
So, and why does Kodak? So
I'm
sorry.
I bought Darkest Dungeon on Justin's recommendation, and I will play it and report back.
I've looked into that game. It looks too difficult for me.
Well, it was only $25. I was like, all right, I'll drop 25 on it for the Switch.
Yeah.
Play something on the subway.
He also asks, why the fuck does Kodak think that making its own cryptocurrency is a good idea? Making cryptocurrency is a terrible idea. Kodak still is around? Who the fuck's using Kodak products at this point anymore? Is my question. Does Kodak even make shit? Like, do they still make? Do they make like digital cameras?
Apparently, they make Kodak coins.
What?
It is the Kodak coin.
What?
It is. Look, I don't know why they call it that. Apparently, they do make cameras.
Are they decent?
Like, they still make cameras. I would never buy a Kodak camera.
Oh, I would not either.
The only time I see a anything Kodak is when I'm in like a CVS or something like that, and they have the little Kodak kiosks to make paper to
print pictures right off a memory card or something.
Yeah, but that's it.
Fucking Kodak. Shut up, Kodak. What the fuck are you doing? Idiots. Johnny says, I enjoy watching the Destiny 2 streams. Are you guys going to do the same for the new Monster Hunter? If you need a fourth man, I may know someone who could help. Points to himself. Like an asshole. Look, if I get Monster Hunter, I'll stream it. And Johnny, if you want to stream it, go right ahead. You can use our so I should probably lay out this. It's not a policy, just a guideline. If you guys want to post your streams in the fan group, that's fine. Just don't make that like, I don't want it to be like all just people posting streams all day. Nor do I want people coming into the group just to post streams. Like it's one thing if like a guy like Johnny, who is an active participant, does it because we know Johnny, he's a good guy. But there have been a few people that we've let in, and then like the first 5 posts they make are like, check out my stream, look at my channel, do that. Yeah. I'm just like, no, you're done.
Yeah, you're out of here. You
gotta go. But yeah, like I said, if you guys stream Monster Hunter shit, go right ahead. I just don't want that to be the entirety of the group. For sure.
Believe us, if we get tired of looking at it, it'll be gone.
Mike in particular, Mike is the silent hand behind all this. He doesn't talk very much, but he will boot a dude out of here.
Yep. If I see something I don't like, you better believe. Or if somebody tells me of something's wrong and I check it out, you're gone. No warnings, no questions. Like a ninja, like a thief in the night. I'm gonna steal you away.
Mark asks a fantastic question, I think. Which episode of TNP Premium do you think Micah is most scared of his wife listening to?
Shit.
It's got to be an episode of the Airing of Grievances. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's one of them Airing of Grievances episodes. I just can't remember off the top of my head which one. Usually she's a good sport about a lot of stuff. But yeah, it has to be an Airing of Grievances episode, and probably one of the like earlier ones where we were still trying to figure out what we were doing, and we were just like, hey, let's just talk about our lives and just like see if it relates to this episode or what we would do in this situation. And any episode when I'm talking shit on my wife, I really don't want her to listen. Like, she's heard a couple. Like the one that wasn't too bad was she was getting a massage from this Euro trash like masseuse, and I'm over there like just stewing, like and just getting pissed off. Meanwhile, because I'm getting pissed off because of that, and then I'm getting pissed off because the woman that is massaging me is like fucking giving me Randy Savage elbow drops and shit. Like, shit fucking hurt, man. I was just mad, and she was just sitting there moaning like, like, what the fuck? Like, I gotta sit here. It was the closest I've ever been to being cuckolded. And I didn't fucking appreciate
it. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Yeah, go listen to that. And there's a whole bunch of like I talk about how I shit myself once, and there's a lot of weird shit.
That's honestly, that's probably the stealth answer. It's not something you said about her. It's probably something embarrassing about yourself that you don't want her to know.
Right. She doesn't know that. Like, she doesn't know that I shit myself in a fucking park once. There's an episode coming up where another bodily function is going to happen, and I'm going to talk about another bodily function. Like, it's yeah,
very good. Very good. Mark also says, for a real question, that was a real question, buddy. Are there any highly anticipated games for 2018 that you think are in danger of flopping in comparison to their hype? I have one obvious answer and then one less obvious answer.
Is your obvious answer Anthem?
It is not. Because that game doesn't really have a lot of hype behind it yet. That could flop for an entirely different reason. Yeah. And it's nothing to do with hype. It has to do with who's publishing it. Well, you go ahead with yours first. If you
I don't know if I have one off the top of my head. Like, the only game that I'm like truly excited for is Spider-Man right now, and
that's my answer.
God, I really hope that doesn't flop, man. Like, I don't want it to, and I'm doing everything in my power to will it to not be a train wreck. But there are some instances where I can see, like, it looks pretty, but like all the really cool stuff, you're not really doing anything other than waiting for a button to come on screen just so you could press it. And I'm curious as to how that game is going to, how locomotion is going to be, and how combat is going to be, and that's like the hallmarks of that particular title. Like, those are the two things that will drive you to play that game.
The correct answer that everyone should get is, of course, Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, that shit ain't even on my radar. Is it even coming out this year? Is it?
Maybe. We'll see. Trey says, why are most major studios ignoring beat-em-ups? Why do they not want to bless us with an entry in this majestic genre, since properties like Marvel are begging for it? Streets of Rage forever. Trey, unfortunately, those games probably just aren't very profitable, unfortunately.
Yeah, the hook with those games, the reason why they were so prevalent back in the arcade scene is because they were arcade games, and you had to keep paying money to play it. And if you wanted to beat one of those games in an afternoon, you could drop about $30, depending on your skill level. You just get a $60 beat 'em up now. I mean, I like a good beat 'em up, but yeah, like, there's not a lot of replay value unless you're like a score chaser, and most people nowadays aren't.
And the closest thing to that, honestly, is that does work is like a Dragon's Crown, which adds like a lot of RPG elements.
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, that's why you don't see a lot of, what is it, Vanillaware games. They got one coming out that I kind of am interested in, but yeah.
Mark says, since motion capturing and special effect monster creations have been making some serious great entertainment in theaters, I would ask you, gentlemen, who would win in a street rules bloody brawl? A street fight, Mark. Street fight. That's all you can say. Chicago street fight. What is it, Chicago? I'm from Chicago. Between these actors, Doug Jones of The Shape of Water, Andy Serkis from Planet of the Apes, among other things, Boy, and Toby Kebbell. Micah's pick, probably a Fantastic Four.
Nope.
These actors are not the characters they played on screen, just a bunch of method actors going at it. Well, I mean, given that stipulation, I mean, ain't no way nobody but Ron Perlman is winning this fight.
I think it would come down to Ron Perlman and Andy Serkis. Toby Kebbell, nope. Huh?
Andy Serkis is small.
Andy Serkis is small, but he's a method actor, and all he has to do is tap into the monkeyness of the characters that he's played, and just get that raw monkey strength to rip off fingers and rip off faces. But at the same time, like Andy Serkis is so method that I can see him being a savage animal, whereas Ron Perlman is method, but he's like very cool in what he does. Like, I don't see Ron Perlman flipping out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I can see Andy Serkis going crazy. Doug Jones, he's too he's like the awoken dancing emote in Destiny. He's just like, ooh, look at me. Look at me. I'm Doug Jones. I move very slowly. Nah, yo, nah. He's too busy having sex with mute girls underwater. And then Toby Kebbell, I'm just so disgusted with you.
through no fault of his own.
He could have turned that role down.
Oh my goodness. Dustin says, do you think that Microsoft learned their lesson with the announcement of a new Fable in the works and first-party games like Sea of Thieves and Crackdown coming soon? Is it possible that Microsoft might actually realize that people that buy game consoles like to play games? Or do you think this is all a ruse to get us to buy the Cortana blow-up doll attachment, adaptable separately, that comes with a Duke controller to connect to and a 10% coupon for the Marcus Phoenix 7-foot statue that screams, oh, you do Marcus Phoenix, I can't do
Oh, come on.
Every time you walk by it, I will hang up and listen to your response. Very good question.
I think they're just done. I think just go ahead and try to focus on the future, Microsoft.
I mean, they do get it that people like games, but it's unfortunate that they have, no games in their stable that anyone actually wants to play.
Yeah, I just don't and that's not to say that people don't play their Xbox, but like honestly look back and think of what was the last Xbox exclusive title you played, or which one is coming up. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Crackdown?
Sea of Thieves is probably going to be the most successful game that they released this year, first party, and that says a lot about the state of the Microsoft first party catalog right now.
Yeah, I guess.
So Eric says, if you could choose one non-fighting game character to be a guest fighter in Street Fighter V, who would it be?
Does Dr. Doom count as a non-fighting character, even though he's been in fighting games?
Yeah, I would say so.
There you go.
That's fine.
Fucking kick Bison in the head and then fight. I would love to see what Dr. Doom would look like in that art style. Like, I forget the artist's name, but I read somewhere like that guy likes some thick, which is why like Chun-Li's legs look like fucking like they're bigger than their head. You know what I mean? I'm very curious as to see what his art style would look like.
Well, then in that case, who would look ridiculous, and they could, I guess, not really keep it in house because they only published the first one. Bayonetta would be a ridiculous choice.
But goodness gracious, you know what? Bayonetta would be an interesting fit. Like I could see her being like a palette swap for like Jury.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just like that different
style.
Interesting
as her own character.
Yeah, I mean, like when I say not a palette swap, but if Jury didn't exist, I could see Bayonetta having that stylized Taekwondo style that Jury has in that game. Who else would I want to see in Street Fighter V? Do you have one besides Bayonetta?
Not really. See, the problem is I don't know, because that universe is so self-contained that it's just hard for me to picture
anybody else in it.
People coming into it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like PlayStation like staple characters that I'm drawing a blank right now that would work well in a fighting game.
Oh, I got it. Fable guy. Whatever that character's name was.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a shoe-in for a PlayStation exclusive game.
Just so we can beat the shit out of him.
You know who might be cool? I don't know why this popped in my head, but fucking Kai Lang from like Mass Effect 2. Just or something like that character.
Yeah, I mean, I would see that character as more of I can see him in a different franchise.
Like a Soul Calibur or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough question. If I'd seen it beforehand, I'd give it some more thought and maybe had a better answer. So we'll go with Bayonetta. That'll be my response. Juan says, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, one of the most underrated / underappreciated games of the last couple of years. considering that it's as good as any other Uncharted game gameplay wise and fixes some of the issues of the latter ones, like the length, can it be that the reason it's not as popular is that it stars two sisters of color? Would gamers truly deprive themselves of such a great experience for such superficial reasons?
Yep.
And lastly, if Nathan Drake started this game, would you guys have played it by now?
I own it. I have played it.
I have not played it yet.
And I'm almost finished. I really like that game, and it stars two of the best characters in it. I agree with you. It is underrated and underappreciated. One of the reasons I don't think it's doing well is because the amount of time it took to come out.
It's not marketed well.
It's not that's number two. It's not marketed at all. And yes, I do think people would be that petty to not buy a game just because it has two people in it that don't look like the average person who buys that type of game. Like there's a whole reason why that was the reason why Joel and Ellie on The Last of Us, like didn't Joel get like wasn't he like front and center and Ellie was in the background or something like that? I can't remember.
That's one of those like studies that, you know, your game is statistically more likely to sell more, like some of that bullshit marketing research stuff. I mean, I do think that I agree with you, there's some people that would not play it for that reason. I don't think that's the reason why Lost Legacy specifically has gone underappreciated, because I'm not quite as cynical in my thought. Would I have played it sooner if Nathan Drake started the game? Probably not. So I haven't played this yet for the same reason that I didn't play Arkham Origins, because I'm not ready for another Uncharted experience yet. Like, I haven't had enough time between Uncharted 4 where I'm ready to jump in and do that again, if that makes sense. So that for me, like, especially with that, like, because I know what that game is going to be. Like, I know how it's going to feel. I know how it's going to play, and I have to be in the mood for that. And it takes me a little bit longer to kind of get in the mood for that. Like, by the time Arkham Knight came out, I was ready for a new Batman experience. I wish I'd gotten a new Batman experience. I was ready for a new Batman experience when that game released. I'm not yet ready to sit down with a Uncharted single player experience. That's why it's still sitting on my hard drive and haven't played it, but I will play it eventually at some point because I really like that series. And I like those characters too.
Yeah, it's really good. But like you said, it is the same game. But yeah, like it, I don't know. I do, part of me, the cynicism in me just comes out just because it's not the only factor, but yeah, I think it's a factor.
Interesting. Like I said, I think it's more the marketing. The fact that people were confused. Like, what is this? Is it a game? Why is it only $40? You know, and obviously, like, people listening to this, they understand what it is. It was originally designed as an expansion that they released standalone. But again, you know, Joe Blow Video Gamer doesn't have that much savvy knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to really look down the comment list to find this one from Jay. Death Stranding. Is it a game, a movie, a TV show, or an elaborate setup for a really cool animated GIF? It is neither of those things. It is just a Kojima fever dream existential experience that we are all going to be subjected to in the year 2021 when it releases.
I agree.
Because Dust says it's really just a giant marketing ploy for Nissan Cup noodles. It wouldn't shock me either at all, honestly.
Yeah, it wouldn't. And then, like, you eat your cup noodles, and at the bottom of it, if you still have broth in it, like, there's a fetus. It's like, oh, gross. There's a fetus in my cup noodles.
Terrell says, what are your thoughts on the host of the Nerdpocalypse saying that he came up with the question of the week / what do you people want segment, and what format do you think is better?
That guy's a fucking liar, man. He did not come up with the concept of asking listeners what their opinion is. That is one of the reasons why this show is better because we care about you.
Yes, we invented that for all podcasts, by the way.
Yes, for every podcast. We are trendsetters and trailblazers. That guy also hosts Black on Black Cinema, and Black on Black Cinema recently got a 5-star review. That is the most accurate 5-star review I've ever heard. I will paraphrase it for you. Why does Jay control everything with an iron fist, and he's a megalomaniac psychopath? Like someone said, and he had to read it because it was 5 stars. It was like, I really like the show, but Jay is incredibly self-centered, narcissistic, and rules everything with an iron fist. Why doesn't he let Micah and Terrence talk or have opinions or do anything without shouting people down? Like, what's his fucking problem, man? That's what it said.
That's hilarious. We're gonna fly through this because I just realized the show is going super long. And I gotta watch for all 25. God damn it. Daryl says, whatever happened to video game tie-ins? They used to come out all the time. Now not so much, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Which movie and video game combination do you think was the best? I don't really remember a ton of video game tie-ins.
What do you mean, like video game movies?
I think he means like licensed games based on a movie that was coming out more so.
Licensed games based on a movie,
right? Which are all terrible generally. The best combination. Well, there was only one that I can think of where the game was actually better than the movie, and that was X-Men Origins.
Oh my god, that was amazing!
Right, and the movie was trash.
Yeah, and it was amazing because they made a Wolverine game, and then Fox said, "Hey, you got a Wolverine game coming out. We got a Wolverine movie coming out. How about you slap a coat of paint on it?" Yeah,
yeah. And that game was way better than the movie was in that case. Normally it's never the other way around. I honestly can't think of a good tie-in.
The Chronicles of Riddick was good. That game was way better than it had any right to be.
Okay.
Based on that Riddick franchise. The Warriors, people like the Warriors. I don't.
Yeah, that wasn't a tie-in. Like that didn't come out.
Oh yeah, that wasn't really a tie-in. Yeah, everything else was just kind of based on it. Like not, hey, we got something coming out. Spider-Man 2 was pretty good, but it was only good because of the locomotion. Like everybody, like everything else about that game, just it looked terrible. I don't know how many fucking balloons you had to save for kids, but
I mean, the reason you don't see them is because the industry finally woke the fuck up and realized that licensed games and making games on a concrete schedule sucks.
Yeah,
not worth it. I mean, THQ is out of business because of licensing. So, Anthony says, "What is your guilty pleasure game?"
How would you define guilty pleasure?
So like something that you'd be embarrassed to like. So like for you, it's probably like Senran Kagura or something like that.
Yeah, maybe them perv games that I play. Them perv games, like them beach volleyball games. Maybe a couple of do I have any guilty pleasures on my phone? I don't think I have any guilty pleasures on my phone. But basically anything that I would be embarrassed to play is probably one of those anime games that a man who is 37 years old has no business playing.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that I play that I'd be embarrassed to tell people that I play. Yeah, I really, honestly, I don't know if I have one currently, at least. I mean, there might have been stuff in the past, trying to think off the top of my head, but I am drawing a blank right now.
I was embarrassed that I got a platinum in that Terminator Salvation game on a PS3.
See, I'm not embarrassed about any of my cheap ass platinums. It just is what it is. I'm not going to apologize for being a trophy whore,
I guess.
Anthony also asked, how long will it take Jay to complete the next Tomb Raider game?
Until the next Tomb Raider game.
Right. Terrell asks, has Micah finished Persona 5?
Nope. I went back to it, and I'm still in the I kind of forgot where I was, and then I'm still in that space palace. And it's just a fucking slog, man. Like it's gotten to the point where I don't even want to play the dungeons anymore. I just want to see what happens to these kids, man. Like I care more about the story than actually doing the fucking work.
Let's see what else. Anthony comes back. Anthony actually asked a ton of questions. If there's DLC for Cuphead, will Terrence get it? And how many times will he rage in attempting to complete it? I will guarantee you Terrence will not purchase any further Cuphead material.
No, I think he's done. He finished it and he proved his point, and now he's gonna be like, I already beat it. I got nothing to prove.
His number 3 game of 2017. Amir says, how much are the pay? You know what? I'm not even reading this question. It's gonna piss Micah off for 2 reasons. Because he asked how much are the Patriots going to win by at the Super Bowl, and the answer to that question is however much the refs allow them to win by, probably. And then he says he thinks this is going to be the penultimate Super Bowl.
God damn it! God damn it! Look, I'm not gonna go on that rant because I'm not gonna fall for that, but I will fall for the first one. Look, this football thing just did not go the way I wanted it to go for either conference. I will tell you this: I'm at the point now where it's just beat the Patriots, and I don't think Philadelphia is going to do it. But in the off chance that Philadelphia is able to defeat the Patriots, I, for 1 month, will refer to that town by its proper name.
I thought the property was Philadelphia.
I will, for 1 month, refer to that town by the name with which they want me to refer it to. By. That's it. That's all I got.
Anthony also asks, where did I get that sweet tabletop table visible in the Tabletop for 2 Instagram feed? Anthony's referring to the picture of Empires of the Void 2 that I posted the other day. Anthony, that is from a company called BoardGameTables.com. That is their Duchess table, which is their cheapest entry-level board game table. I love it to pieces. The reason it's cheap is because it's still high quality, but their other more expensive tables have more customization options as far as like different add-ons and stuff that you can get. Whereas this one, it's just the table, and you can get some cup holders that screw onto the bottom that flip out, and you can get the topper, of which I have all of these things.
What is that? It looks like a craps table. Like that. Look.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the cool thing about it is that when the topper is off and you're using it for gaming, it has a recessed gaming area. It has a full-size gaming mat that sits inside, which is terrific. And it's pretty great, and I love it. And if you are a serious board gamer, then it might be something down the road that you may think about investing in.
I mean, it looks pretty nice. I'm looking at the Tabletop for 2 Instagram feed. Props to whomever is wearing that N7 hoodie.
I think that's actually my wife.
Well, props to your wife for rocking that N7 hoodie.
Yes, it is her, because that is actually my hoodie, but it is cut in such a way that is not comfortable for me. So she that is all hers.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, like I said, I love my table, and I'm not sponsored by Board Gaming's Table, so my shill for them is completely as a happy customer. Anthony also comes back and says, any update on Micah getting his better half further into video games?
We are still playing Mario Kart. She likes what she likes, and I'm not trying to force anything. Not trying to look. You go at your own pace. You want to try something new? Hey, I'm down for it.
Randy says Royal Rumble and WrestleMania predictions. We'll skip WrestleMania because I don't like to make those predictions until after the Rumble has shaken out. Here's your Rumble pick.
I have no idea, man. I really don't. I don't like making Royal Rumble predictions. I like to go into the Royal Rumble because if I make a prediction, then I'm gonna feel like I gotta root for somebody, and then when that person doesn't make it, I'm gonna get fucking pissed. I like to do what everyone else does and just kind of go at it while we're doing it. You know what I mean? Like I like to think of it like a horse race in which I have no dog in the fight.
Interesting. As every longtime fan of this show knows, I correctly predicted the unannounced winner of the 2016 Royal Rumble a couple years ago because I'm awesome. I feel like, did I predict Randy Orton last year as well?
Did you? You might have.
That seems right. Someone can fact check me on that. I feel like I'm 2 years running correct with the Royal Rumble predictions. So my prediction this year is going to be none other than Shinsuke Nakamura from the SmackDown brand to set up a Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a handicap match at WrestleMania. I don't think that's part of the no, I think he's going to win. I think the obvious choice would be Roman Reigns, but I do not think they're going to make that mistake in Philadelphia again.
Didn't he get popped for like a wellness thing again? I thought I read
something. Someone that ran some steroid lab named him as a client, but he denied it. And he's been, I mean, they do wellness tests, so.
Oh, all right.
He was guilty of that. He'd have popped. But no, Roman Reigns would be obvious, but they're not going to have him win in Philadelphia again for the second time in a row.
No.
After the reaction that they got the first time that they did that, you can rest assured of that. Matthew says, did any of you hosts have aspirations to get into game development, either as a programmer, designer, writer, voice actor, etc.? Well, we talk about this on the show all the time. Micah is actively trying to get into voice acting.
Yeah, I got a demo, and I'm putting my demo out there, and nothing's bit yet, but
check out my voice acting mixtape.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it is. Honestly, Brad, you have the type of voice that people who want voice actors look for, because what they look for now, they don't want the big announcer, right? They want a guy who sounds like their buddy. Hey, I'm just trying to, hey, your dense pixels pitch for the Amazon is what they want.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not actively soliciting any voice acting jobs, but if someone wants to recruit me, sure, go ahead.
Yeah,
you need like a Seth Rogen sound-alike or something like that. I've been told I sound like Seth Rogen for some reason. I don't believe it.
No, those people, they do those people know what you look like?
Yes, they're people that I meet in person.
Yeah, that's why. Because they see a big jovial white guy, they're like, "Hey, Seth Rogen, bro! Hey!"
Jay thinks I sound like Triple H, which I also don't know what the fuck he's hearing.
I mean, Jay, look, sometimes you just gotta humor that guy, man. Like, he's trying, man. He's trying.
But I mean, I don't end sentences with so I did that more often. That might work. Yeah, but like I said, if anyone wants to throw me a voice acting gig, shit, absolutely.
Yeah, you'd be good. You'd be good at it. I can't tell you how many times they're like, "Could you make it sound friendlier? Could you just lighten it up a bit?" Hey,
I feel like that's
for all of you.
I feel like they're ascribing their own personal views of black people onto you. Black people must be angry. Sound friendlier, sir. That's what I think.
Oh shit.
Daniel says, what do you snack or pig out on while playing games? I cannot eat anything while I play video games because I do not want my salty, greasy, whatever fingers getting all over my fine controller.
I'll eat whatever. I usually don't. I'll eat. I try not to eat as much junk anymore, but I would usually eat chips. If I'm feeling down or sad, I'll eat ice cream with like 6 scoops in it. I'll drink. I drink a lot of water while I'm there. But yeah, I'll eat anything, man. Like you, but usually I default to either chips or ice cream.
Johnny says, Neville, Rich Swann, Enzo Amore, is it safe to say that the cruiserweight title is cursed? It's safe to say that is not a real cruiserweight title, so fuck that title. just because they bring up some bullshit and put it on a pink belt and or purple belt and call it a cruiserweight title doesn't mean I had to acknowledge it. I'm sorry, but your best people in that should be wrestling for that belt aren't even wrestling because they're too good for it. They're too good for it. They are. I'm sorry. Is that title cursed? No, obviously not. The Neville thing was just weird, just an odd situation. I guess he was a little bitter that he was forced down to the cruiserweight scene. He knew
that's kind of what that sounds like to me.
He knew what that was. Rich Swann, look, man, Rich Swann, why are you making Baltimore look bad, dude? Why are you smacking your wife around? That's no good.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Rich Swann, he just from Baltimore. That's not being cursed. That's just being from Baltimore.
And then Enzo Amore. Now look, the news broke shortly before this podcast, and Enzo Amore accused of allegedly sexually assaulting someone.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, you didn't see that?
No.
Yeah, it's like I said. I hesitate to offer my opinion on the authenticity of the person making the accusation. It looks not as concrete, let's say, as some of the other accusations that have been levied against famous people in these past several months. But that said, would it surprise me to learn that it's true? Not in the least. Not in the least. That dude seems like a scumbag.
Yeah, he kind of does.
So, he also has a weird Maryland tie-in. He went to Salisbury, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. So very strange. We're not bad like that though. It's such a weird thing to describe. Jake says tax season is upon us, which means this year's battle of which irrational purchase will I make this year Turbo Edition. I'm leaning toward a Switch plus games or some fancy ass mountain bike. Convince me it's worth being lazy this year.
Well, we talked about it earlier. If you get a Switch, then you can go around and stick your Joy-Cons into a bunch of fucking garbage and play the Switch with a bunch of garbage in your hand. So, I mean, if that doesn't convince you to spend $500 on a Switch and some games and some garbage, then I don't know what would.
For an actual answer, remember that both myself and Micah gave Super Mario Odyssey our game of the year.
Yeah,
for 2017 last year.
There are enough games on the Switch now where it is most assuredly worth a purchase.
Yes,
garbage and all.
And finally, Gustavo, who I can always rely on for some footy chat, is Tottenham Hotspur willing to sell Harry Kane to Real Madrid for 200 million euros or $279,684,543.02 for you, Micah?
That makes a whole lot more sense and is much easier to say.
Now, while every word of that sentence sounded like a foreign language to Micah, I know what it all meant. So, of course, Harry Kane, the best striker in England football, and one of the best strikers in the world. And he plays for my beloved Spurs. And I love Harry Kane. He's one of our own. And I love him to death. And he loves playing for Tottenham. But that's a lot of money, Micah. That's a lot of money to be given for the services of one player. But that being said, hold on to Harry Kane until that shit's like 300 million euros. Keep Harry Kane until he doesn't want to be there anymore, because Harry Kane has said he will be Tottenham till he dies. As long as the team continues to make competitive moves and to compete for trophies and to do what they can to be among the best in English football, he is more than happy to remain a Tottenham player for as long as they'll have him. So I don't think he's going to be the type, because a lot of big soccer players, Micah, when they call it getting their head turned when a big club comes sniffing around and is looking to poach them from another team. And you know Tottenham Hotspur is a good club, but Real Madrid's one of the most popular clubs and one of the biggest clubs in the world. So, if they're like, hey, we're interested in this guy, a lot of players be like, oh, you are you? Well, then Tottenham Hotspur, sell me to Real Madrid. But Harry Kane doesn't seem like the type to force a move away unless the team becomes terrible. And if the team becomes terrible, then they will sell him, because then you can get a lot of other really good players with that $200 million selling fee if you end up selling him. So
That is, those are not euro, those are pounds.
Oh, that is pounds. You are right. My bad.
And Harry Kane is the weirdest looking dude.
Excuse me. First of all, that is our Lord and Savior Harry Kane.
He just looks odd to me.
As I mean, so he isn't capable of closing his mouth.
Like it makes
Like
him
if you look at every picture, his mouth is open. I do not deny that whatsoever. It's part of his charm, Micah. Part of his charm. Look, man, like I said, Harry Kane, a Tottenham Hotspur academy product, burst on the scene a couple years ago. He had a terrific season and we were told by other opposing teams he's just a one-season wonder. And he's been doing it for the last 4 seasons. I love him. I have a Harry Kane jersey. Of course I do. And he's terrific, and I'm happy to have him as long as he wants to stay with Spurs. Don't go, Harry Kane. Fuck
How
you.
do you think he'll do against Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman at the Royal Rumble event, at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view? See what I did there? Because his name is Kane.
I did. I do have like I said, I have a soccer jersey that just says Kane on the back.
There you go. So this is Tottenham Hotspur. Who is AIA?
That is the sponsor of Tottenham Hotspur. They are a insurance company, a life insurance company that's based in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken. But that is the company that ponied up the fee to get their brand on sponsorship on the front of the shirt.
Ah, well, all right.
So, but yes, I love Harry Kane. Please don't go. Unless it's 300 million. If they're offering 300 million pounds, I mean, Jesus Christ, man, that's a lot of fucking money for one player. But see, the thing is, like, if he goes to I'm rambling now. If he goes to Real, he'll just be one in a sea of many world players where he can be the man at Tottenham Hotspur. I think that matters too.
So Tottenham Hotstepper is the small pond, and he is the big fish. Is that what you're saying?
Pond. They're still a very big, but Real Madrid's like an ocean, if that makes sense. So, like I said, Real Madrid is one of those, like there's probably like 5 teams in the world that even you've heard of, and they're probably one of them.
Yes,
and that goes to show you their stature in world football, because I could probably name the other ones for you that you've heard of.
Who was that?
Barcelona.
Yes.
Manchester United.
Of course.
Chelsea.
Yes.
And Liverpool.
Yes. Where is Arsenal in that?
Arsenal's probably in the next step down.
Yeah.
I'll get made fun of this from not fellow Gooners, from Gooners fans, that they're probably in the same league as Tottenham Hotspur. I don't think an Arsenal supporter would ever cop to that.
No, of course not, because Arsenal is not a small pond, like you just admitted.
But facts is facts. I mean, like, and on a more world stage, and you probably haven't heard of Bayern Munich, because I think you have to at least have some sort of soccer attunation to heard of them, but they're also another one of those clubs that's like a world team.
What is it? Bayern Munich?
Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich. They're the best team in Germany. They're like the New York Yankees of Germany, basically.
Ooh, we hate them, right?
We do. I mean, I don't have a visceral hate for Bayern Munich, but I don't enjoy them as much.
It's because they're German, right?
No. That's because they buy all the best players. We should cut this off this goddamn. We're gonna go on next week too. Christ, damn Rumble. Make sure, if you're not in our fan group, densepixels.com/fans, make sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. It'll get read on the air. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at densepixels. Subscribe to the show on it's Apple Podcasts now, isn't it? It's not iTunes itself. It's Apple Podcasts. Google Play Music or any other podcatcher that you use. And follow us on Twitch. We have the Dense Pixels main channel. We also have myself as Dense Pixels Brad, Terrence is Apparition 410, Micah is Dense Black Nerd, and Carrie is Subbits Carrie. We will see you guys next week with our Royal Rumble review, one of our favorite show of the year. So I mean, it's something that you should look forward to, and we'll see you.
See you.
you.